So, we're over the hump. 2 left, 20.4, and we just got the release of it, and to be honest, just to give you my raw thoughts, I'm a little disappointed. So the 20.4, the able body version, as you probably know, is box jumps with a clean and jerk, going back and forth, building heavier sets on the clean and jerk, and then it goes into pistols. I get it, in speaking to everybody that's done this and gone through it, it's very leg intensive, and so on one hand, to create that same stimulus, we're going very upper body intensive or shoulder intensive. So ours is going to be bench press and ring dips for the first part, and then bench press and a ring extension, which is basically like ring push-ups in the bottom and then extending one arm out at a time to mimic a pistol from an arm standpoint. So where I'm a little disappointed is I don't think they went heavy enough. I could be wrong, we'll see when I do it. But the bench starts at 65 and goes up to 205. I felt like we maybe should have started at 95 and gone more to like a 245 or 255, something that's, you know, that real heavy challenge. But like I said, could be surprised. They obviously tested it, we'll see, but that's my initial reaction. So we'll see as I go through this. I feel like it's gonna come down to more of a sprint than that strength situation, and I think that's where the stimulus might be missed a little bit in this one as far as the able body is, that, you know, it's definitely a strength workout for the able bodies, and I feel like we didn't go heavy enough, but I could be wrong. So we'll see. These sometimes catch you by surprise. So anyways, I'm excited to be here either way at Verdant to get through this one. I'm excited to share an adaptive WOD with another community. Maybe we can talk an able body into throwing down on the seated version of it and see what they think. Maybe it's harder than I think. So maybe we can get somebody to do it. Who knows? We'll see. Especially if they've already done the able body version. Their legs are shot, but their upper body should be good, right? So maybe we can get somebody to throw down. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Besides seeing, scrolling through Instagram or something, I really don't have a lot of knowledge about it.
Alright, so we are here at Verdant CrossFit with owner Basil. I say that right, I always feel like awesome. Basil, thanks for letting us drop in and be part of your community tonight.
Absolutely.
So you actually, as far as all the gyms that we've been to so far, you actually have experience with the adaptive community, and that you have an adaptive athlete that's been at your gym for several years.
Yeah, like 5 years now.
5 years, yeah.
Nick Edinger was in the military and lost part of a leg, and he actually has had a lot of success in powerlifting and in strongman, and I think qualified for Wadapalooza in like 2015 or 16 also.
Oh, okay.
I don't 100% remember that, but he's done a lot of CrossFit.
Yeah.
He had never done gymnastics, and he can do everything. He was probably an amazing athlete before, but he's definitely a better athlete now.
Yeah.
After CrossFit.
Having an adaptive athlete, in your experience with CrossFit, goes beyond that. Having an adaptive athlete, has that had any impact on your perspective of CrossFit and dealing with other members and situations or anything?
Yeah, and then the amount of people that we get that are, you know, maybe not 100% good to go.
Yeah.
I would say is higher than folks that are like, oh, I have no problems.
Yeah.
So I would say my approach is always like, you know, treat everyone the same. So at some level, like everyone's got progressions or scales they're gonna have to do based upon like surgeries or injuries. And at the end of the day, like with Nick, it's like not terribly different. And I think like, I know he wants us to treat him like the exact same.
Right.
There are things that are like clearly, you know, we can't do that. Like if we're gonna snatch, like you can't move your leg because you're gonna tip over and
Right.
you know, it's gonna be a real problem.
Right.
But like outside of those small things, like it's basically the same in most cases. And you know, especially when we talk about whether it's scaling, like whether it's scaling, whether it's progressions, like we all do progressions to get to somewhere, whatever that happens to be. I think what you were saying earlier is like, you know, the intent of your workout will determine whether it's a scale or whether it's a progression. And I would imagine it's the same for adaptive athletes. Like,
Right.
You know, the intent of that workout, whatever happens to be, it'll either call for like a scale for what you normally or what you're shooting for, or a progression to like what that might be.
Sure.
And I don't know if it's changed a lot of what we do necessarily. I worked with a guy who was blind in LA.
Oh,
that
cool.
was very different.
Yeah.
That definitely required some doing.
Yeah.
You know, we had to put like not ropes, but like lines that he could sort of like basically follow from like one station to the next.
Oh, sure.
That was very different.
Yeah.
But with Nick, it's been pretty similar. I was interning for the L1 staff, and we had another guy just like Nick, who honestly he was wearing pants, and I had no idea until like we had a little. There was a question about we couldn't figure out what was going on, and it was like, he doesn't have part of his leg, and just like no one mentioned that.
Right.
So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Well, and because that's the thing we run into sometimes too, is not everybody's disabilities or physical impairments or permanent impairments are as visual as a wheelchair.
Right.
So that, and sometimes people aren't as open about that as maybe they should be coming into an environment like this.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons that, you know, we're trying to get behind this and kind of do this tour and show other gyms, is that, and so that hopefully people realize that CrossFit is a very welcoming space to have adaptations for workouts and meet you where you're at.
Yeah.
So
in some ways, like I kind of wish that there was like, because like you're very fit, right?
Sure.
And if anyone sees you, like, oh, that's a fit person. I find like the struggle is usually like, because I think you're gonna be mentally tough. You have some challenges ahead of you, and you kind of like, I'm gonna meet those challenges. I think the people that are like I'm not sure what the right word exactly, but like, you know, people that are like really overweight, for example.
Sure.
Those are the ones where it's like, man, I wish we had them in the gym and like, you know, kind of change their diet and like, because clearly you can see that, and you can see like, hey, this is a problem. But like, you walk in here and you're like, no one else looks like me, and this is like a real issue. Whereas like, you can basically do probably, I mean, I'm assuming almost everything that everyone else here can do.
Sure.
At some level.
Right.
You know, whatever the adaptation is, like, it's gonna be the same.
Right.
You know? And so that is an interesting perspective. Like, if Nick puts on pants, like, that's just another big ass dude walking around.
Right.
You know, like that's not a whole lot different.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of curious.
Yeah. So just to get your input real quick, let's talk about 20.4 real quick. So we know the able-bodied standard of the box jumps and the clean and jerks into the pistols and the clean and jerks with the ascending ladder as far as the weight goes. So ours just came out.
Okay.
And so what we're doing is in the same format. We're doing ring dips. We'll do 20 ring dips for the first 3 sets, and then we're doing a bench press. Okay. And then we're doing for the pistols, we're doing what's called a ring extension. So basically, you'll be in push-up form with the base of the push-up on rings, and you'll do an extension of one arm versus alternating overhead for 20 reps, and then back to the bench.
Nice.
In a building weight.
Cool.
So, initial thoughts as far as stimulus?
I'd have to I think I'd like to see one of those performed, honestly.
Sure.
I'd like to do it to kind of really know.
Yeah.
Definitely a little bit different, but and I'm not a doctor, so this is where like my knowledge kind of leaves me a little bit.
Sure.
So I don't really know how much hinging you can do, if any. I would imagine a ton, like as far as like the clean would be concerned.
Right.
So that seems like a good comp.
Yeah, I think the idea is where we do normally do clean-up presses, and this particular one was to try and meet more of the stimulus of, for the able-bodied athlete, it's just a leg killer.
Yeah.
And so, where obviously we're not going to kill my legs because they're already dead.
You have.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that was the idea in trying to meet that stimulus more. And that's one of the ways where adaptive CrossFit has kind of evolved, in that before it was trying to more mimic the exact movements of able body, and now it's more about well, what's the true stimulus of the workout and what do we do to mimic that.
Yeah, that's cool.
So
cool. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that should be fun to watch.
Yeah.
Well, what's the weight on the bench press? You just go up and under.
So yes, it does. That's I've made my remarks. I feel like it starts a little bit too. Feel like it's too light. It should be a little bit heavier. It starts at 605 and works up to 205. But like I said before, I may get surprised with the
like bench press. Like once it's gone, it's gone.
Right.
I mean, there's a really fine line there, right?
Right.
If it's too heavy too quickly, it's kind of over.
Sure.
So
right. That's true. That's true.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's good or bad, but that's like, you see that with any muscle failure workout. You can't you can kind of jerry rig a couple cleans if like you're strong enough.
Yeah.
But you're definitely not gonna. If you're not going to want to do that, but like without, it's interesting. The bench press is kind of a cool idea with that. I like it.
Or it's a strict movement.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. So awesome. Well, like I said, thanks for letting us come be a part of your community, and thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Should be fun.
Yeah. Probably maybe some strict press for the committed jerks, and for the bot jumps, some type of taking something from the ground and putting it on top of maybe a box, like weights. Absolutely. For example, a couple years ago, I hurt my back and I had to do a lot of, scale type workouts. And it kind of would have been nice to know if I had, for example, like an adaptive athlete's workouts, because then I could just be like, okay, this is what I'm going to do today. Instead of trying to think of something, I could have just done that.
3, 2, 1.
Came up out the womb of man with everything that you demand. You could say I had a plan way before I had a fan. Some would probably call it luck, I just call it being blessed. You ain't never did the work, but you wanna be the best. Lately I could never stress, never better yet. Might have had a thing for you, she know I'm the better bet. I digress, I let it rest, go and get another check. I could always see my future, I bet they could never guess. Guessing they get it, cause look at me now and then look at yourself in the mirror. I know they doubted my thesis, but they doubted Jesus, and right now I'm making it clear. Clearly these people don't know where they going, and lately I feel like the man with the map. I got this shit out the mud, you could give me the wood and I'd probably give it right back. Back of the bus I was scraping the change, back of my head I was living a life. Back of my...
I ate my words on that one. That got heavy fast.
I was like, damn, he's strong. He definitely put up a good, impressive score, and he had a really good attitude, which I always find inspiring. Two things, I think, if you had like an injury, for example, you could use that as like a substitute thing. You could always sub movement in, like say you have a lower body injury, do some upper body to change the workout. Could be a major injury, could be a minor one. Also, I think it's just really inspiring to try out their workouts sometimes to get some perspective. to show how small we are compared to like some of the problems that are out there.
Came about the womb a giant. You were licking, you were client. Now you got so much to say. I was hurting, you was quiet. Glory is as glory does. So you know the story, love. Never thought he'd be a legend. He was always sure he was. You was.
So, yeah. I way underestimated that workout. It got spicy really fast, and heavier weights would not have happened. I may have to take in consideration that thinking it was super light, I went super large sets and like even unbroken on the first set of dips, which in hindsight probably wasn't a great idea knowing how spicy it got. But yeah, definitely was very appropriate in the stimulus. Even did singles through the 205, so yeah, it for sure got heavy. And was very appropriately matched the stimulus, I would say. So overall, still happy with my time and happy with how we moved through it. Was a great workout, and yeah, now I'm gonna go stretch out my chest, and yeah, we'll see if maybe this week we can get somebody else, person or two, to try the adaptive version and see what they think of it as far as after doing the able body 20.4, and see if it is equal to their standards, if they feel like the stimulus was matched, and if they feel like there's a difference between adaptive and scaling. So have a great week. One more week left and we wrap this thing up. Next week we're at home at Fireside, and gonna throw down with another adaptive athlete that I've been working with a little bit, and so she's gonna come up and hit the WOD with me as well, and so kind of offer a different angle that way on watching a different seated athlete hit the same workout. So thanks for tuning in. If you get a chance, make sure you hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe. We're gonna be doing more stuff as soon as the Open's wrapped up. I'm heading down to Long Beach for live competition. We're going to be vlogging through that, so yeah, more stuff to come. And if you have any suggestions on what you'd like to see from me as far as my training in the gym, just insight on whatever, feel free to reach out to me and let me know, because I want to keep this an ongoing thing to help educate both able-bodied and adaptive athletes going into the future. So have a great week.
Always naysaying, some things never change. Spiritually I never age, feeling like 11th grade.